For the fourth exercise, we need to make sure you finished up the US broadsheet template and also download a copy of the Rules of Layout Part 2. These rules will talk about how to lay out photographs and the fundamentals of cut lines. Additionally, the second and third pages will give you a variety of thumbnails that you can use when laying out your photographs in the second half of this exercise. Also, we need to make sure you finished up putting the metadata in all of your photographs because we're going to use that metadata to generate our cut lines. So, let's close this out. I'm going to double click on the US broadsheet and just open up a general template. I've also opened up my paragraph styles and you can see I've got all my stylings ready to add articles to. Let's add 2 more paragraph styles for the cut lines. At the very bottom of your paragraph styles panel, click to create a new one and then double click on paragraph style 1. And this first paragraph style will be for the cut lines author. The information for this cut line, or this style for the cut line, can be found under the basic character formats, and from here we can find the font and the size and the leading that we need. Let's look at the exercise instructions to see what we need this to be. For the author, we want it to be Myriad Pro Italic, sized 11/11 with a right alignment. Jumping back into InDesign, so we're going to set that to Myriad Pro. The style will be italic, 11/11. And to set the alignment, choose indents and spacing, and then we'll set that to be right aligned, making sure none is set for align to grid. When we say OK, we've got our new paragraph style for the author set. Now let's make another one for the text. Create a new paragraph style, double click on paragraph style 1, and we're going to name this cut line text. Another common problem that I don't address in the instructions is that if it says based on cut line author, let's make sure to change this back to paragraph style. That way it'll make sure it's a clean when we reformat it. Looking back at our instructions, there they are. The cut line text is going to be Minion Pro Bold, 11/11, with left justify as the alignment. Backing out. So for the cut lines text, go to the basic character format. This is going to be Minion Pro. The style will be bold. Again, 11/11. And under indents and spacing, we'll set this to be left justified. Say OK to that. And now we've got 2 cut line styles ready to set up to use for our articles. The next thing we want to do is allow InDesign to automatically create the cut lines for us. To do this, we need to set it up by going to Object, then scrolling down to Captions, and let's set up our caption. From the metadata, we want to use the information we typed in. So choose under the name, we're going to change that to author. It's usually hiding right there. Then we're going to put some text after it. Let's do space dash, NASA News and Media. Let's add another line. Underneath that, we want to put the description. There it is. And then we won't put any more information after that. So it's going to look at the author's name, it's going to add a little extra text to it, and then it's going to add the description below that. The placement of our caption is going to be below the image, and we want to set it at 0p6 points. Make sure you get rid of the inches from there. The paragraph style that we'll use is going to be the cut line text, and we're going to keep it in the same layer and set as that. We'll say OK. Now we're set up to automatically generate some captions. Let's do it to the first photograph that we have. We'll go to File and Place. Let's find that first image for the Glen Red thing. Under NASA News, here's our Glen Red team color TIFF 1. When we say open, remember it'll follow your cursor until you click and drag, and then we can place it, let's place it between these two columns. Now when you place your photographs, you can recrop them to fit the size of your text as needed. So if you wanted to, this could be cropped in just a little bit more, as long as we're not cutting off the main focus of the image, which are the two people. With the image selected, to generate a cut line, we're going to go back up to Object, down to Captions, and we're going to generate a static caption. With one click, you can see it automatically creates a text box below it, and there's our metadata, the extra bit of data that was added to it. The only other formatting we need to do is to highlight this first line, which is our author's line. Let's change that to our author cut line set. When you do that, you may have to make your text box just slightly bigger. Now we can see both of that. We swap over to preview mode. This is how the cut line should be generated for all of the photographs that you place in your designs. So this ends the first part of this particular exercise. In the next part, we're actually going to take the articles and apply it to each of the photographs and play around with some of the layouts.